Hello and welcome back to another arena draft. We are now into the July ladder. So the rankings have been reset. We are dumped down back into gold and we will be pushing to hit Mythic this month. This will be the first draft on that road to Mythic. Excuse me. So, here we are, waiting for the table to fill. Seat 7. Come on, seat 8, you can do it. So last month we finished low diamond. We started in the middle of the month. We drafted 15 times. So 15 times made it up to diamond from bronze. Not too bad. We have Guide of Souls. Literally highest win rate card in the format for games played. Play Guide of Souls. If you see Guide of Souls, take Guide of Souls. Guide of Souls is very good. Just take Guide of Souls. Notably, Fanged Flames, Ghost Fire Slice, and Reiterating Bolt all in the same pack. Guide of Souls is best in the Boros Energy deck, and passing 3 good removal spells is a little concerning. It does mean that Boros is going to be a little hard to come by on the way back in pack number 2. But we should be able to cut off whatever we want, pack 1 and 3. So pick 2, we have a Ral in the Implicit Maze. Not the best lead off of a Guide of Souls, but certainly fine. Ral's is very good. Pick 3, Kudo, King Among Bears. This card's cool. That's it. That's all I gotta say. That card is cool. Anyway, probably taking the Mandibular Kite here. Void Pouncer is not a card I'm generally looking to play. I cut it more often than I play it. Orm's Chant is not something I want in my limited decks, and Waterscape Battle Mage is not what I want to be doing when I'm in a Boros shell. So Mandibular Kite, let's just get this guy in here. And we'll make do with our aggressive starts. Kite, Guide of Souls, 1-drops. We want to pick up a bunch of 2-drops in this kind of a shell. And obviously we want to ride some of these energy creatures like the Goblin, Charge Bug, the Skyclaw even would not be too bad. And pick number 4 is tough. Best cards here, Basking Broodscale and Bridgeworks Battle, but obviously that's not what we're looking to be doing right here. We could move out of red potentially, but like green-white is not generally an energy shell and not really what I'm looking to do. I think I'm just going to take this Rush of Inspiration and have, one of these modal dual-faced cards. Just give me the on-color land, I think. Oh. Really? I guess. Bridgeworks Battle is the best card in the pack. Yeah, okay. Bridgeworks Battle it is. Here's the Conduit Goblin. So, there's a second Bridgeworks Battle, but we really would prefer to be Boros rather than green-white. And so, yeah. Yep. Charge Bug. And we're off to the races with the energy. I think I'd rather have the Rush in hindsight, but that's okay. 1 pick to hedge. Here's a Witch Enchanter. Pretty late, pick 7 Witch Enchanter. There's also a Thraben Charm and a second Mandibular Kite, all certainly good. Witch Enchanter is just a spectacular modal dual-faced card. This is one of the few that I play like back and forth, whether a land or a spell, probably like 50-50, where most of these dual-faced cards are like lands first and spells if you draw them late. Witch Enchanter is one of the better ones in my opinion, being able to deal with large things like Colossal Dreadmask or any of the random static prisons or Ugin's Binding, Ugin's Unseal, whatever the blue card is that Ancestral recalls sometimes. Coming back around, and we're wheeling a Charge Bug and a Riddled Gate Gargoyle. At this point, we've kind of committed ourselves to red-white, so we're going to grab that Charge Bug. Wing It or Sarpadian Simulacrum here. I'm not likely to play either of these cards, but we'll grab the Wing It just in case we need a combat trick to round out what we've got. If we don't wind up with enough removal, then combat tricks serve as pseudo removal. Anytime you can get in combat and use a trick to make sure you win the combat, it's not quite as good as having just killed the thing in the first place, but will serve in a pinch. So pretty happy with this start. Obviously, Guide of Souls being as good as it is, getting the Inventor super late, very good. And yeah, we're just kind of chilling. Here we have Phyrexian Ironworks is kind of the standout card in my opinion. The Myco Spawn obviously is very good, but we're not in green. Ironworks is both a way to make more energy and a secondary payoff for the energy. So we have Guide of Souls and Ironworks at this point that can just use 3 energy to do something good for us. Molten Gatekeeper is okay. We'd be happy to play it, but we don't need it. Aether Revolt is spectacular. For those who haven't read this card, Revolt, if you have Revolt, then it deals additional damage, but just in general, this is a 4-mana enchantment that says whenever you get an energy, it deals that much damage to any target. As long as a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, if a source you control would deal non-combat damage, it deals that much damage plus 2 if you have Revolt. So if you ever have a turn where you can like break a landscape or attack and then something trades in combat or your opponent kills one of your things or anything like that, and then you do anything, make energy or Fanged Flames or anything of the sort, it all deals additional damage. But just by itself, Guide of Souls trigger, we get to ping something for 1 or ping the player for 1. Charge Bug or Goblin Interplay, we get 2 energy. We get to shock something or someone. Inspired Inventor, 3 energy. Phyrexian Ironworks, every time we go to combat, we get an energy. All of these things will just trigger Aether Revolt and let us start throwing damage around. Aether Revolt is a very cool card, and I'm super happy if I can get this to kind of go off. This pack is sad. We knew we were going to get caught off of red cards in pack 2, but we were hoping to see at least the white cards coming through. Meteoric Mace is not really a playable card, and yeah, we're just grabbing a Fleshraker because we can, not because we want to play it. Here we have another Inventor. Generally speaking, like Inventor is... I'm going to play Inventors, but it's not one that I'm looking to pick up. We have 3 copies of, but in the deck with the Aether Revolt, it's just 3 mana that can throw 3 damage around and is a 2/2 while we're at it. It's just very good with Aether Revolt specifically. Fanged Flames coming around 8th pick. Very happy about that. We could use the good 2 mana removal spells. Here, yep, the Molten Gatekeeper Wheels. Not the best card, but good when you're in an aggressive shell just in general. Yeah, Wing It can kind of move. We're not going to play this Frogmere Enforcer. We're probably just going to grab a Winter Moon and throw it in the collection. Yeah. Yep. Nothing that we're going to play, so we just rare draft. Most of the Departed is fine, but again, because we have this Aether Revolt, I think I'm going to take the Skyclaw over the Most of the Departed. Being able to make flyers and then just keep making flyers is certainly not bad, but yeah, we're trying to activate, or we're trying to make sure that this Aether Revolt is going to do the job that we have set out for it to do. So we have Arena of Glory versus Thraben Charm here. I think both cards are fine. I think I'm a little short on removal. We have Fanged Flames, Witch Enchanter, and then Aether Revolt, sort of, and Rowl in the Implicit Maze for smaller things. I think we just want this Thraben Charm to make sure that we can kill things if we have to. Second Thraben Charm, very good. Two in a row, I almost wish I had taken the Arena of Glory, but that's okay. I'm happy to play more than one Thraben Charm. Especially, again, we're a little bit light, and we know we passed good red removal in pack 1 when we took the Guide of Souls, so we were going to have a little bit of problems getting it. Here's another Fanged Flames, which I'm ecstatic to pick up. So now, so far, we've picked up 2 Thraben Charms and a Fanged Flames this pack, so just 3 picks in a row of premium 2-mana removal spells. And suddenly I feel much better about where the draft is sitting. Third Thraben Charm is a bit much, but we're taking it over nothing here. So, I mean, I'll play the third one, don't get me wrong, but I would have preferred something like a Hexgold Slith or a Metastatic Evangel or a Conduit Goblin, something along those lines. Just another good, aggressive 2-drop, but we'll take the third Thraben Charm here. Trying to see what removal we have so far. Well, that Void Pouncer is very unlikely to make the cut. Yeah, so there's that, and a third Fanged Flames. So, yeah, 5 picks of pack number 3, and it's just been 5 2-mana removal spells. So that's kind of exciting. All right, here it's got to be the Rush, right? Or the Landscape. Yeah, just make my mana better. I like that. Here's a second Rouse or a Conduit Goblin. We're taking the Conduit Goblin. Second Rouse is nice. Second Conduit Goblin is much better. 1, it plays better with the Aether Revolt. 2, it makes sure that we have a good start. Like, coming out of the gates, we always want to play a 2-drop on 2. Molten Gatekeeper number 2 is fine. Void Pouncer can go. Distinguished Conjurer can go. Moving these cards over to see like what constitutes removal. So this is kind of like 8-ish removal spells. The Arena of Glory Wailing is nice. We'll gladly pick up the land, especially like we would love to grab non-basic lands if possible. Red Landscape, we don't need a landscape unless it's going to find both of our colors. I don't need any of these cards. I don't think this might... Yeah, that's fine. Picking up the landscape, even though it is only one color, notably is alright because it does trigger Revolt for the Aether Revolt. So cracking a landscape and then doing all the energy stuff is perfectly fine. Rush of Inspiration, another modal dual-faced card. Happy to grab that. This curve looks incredibly low, so we're going to be happy to play less lands in this deck. Probably like 17 counting the modal dual-faced cards would be my guess. Last pick, Skyclaw, which is fine. We'll play it maybe. I think our curve is low enough that we're okay playing a second Skyclaw. It's not my favorite, but like it does make 3 energy, which is very good for us. Distinguished Conjurer, Void Pouncer. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. So 5, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then Rush and Witch Enchanter. So 17 total mana sources, of which 16 come into play untapped. So Rush is the only tap land to throw off our curve. Arena, I guess, if we don't have a basic mountain, but that's okay. A lot of early white, some double red pips at the top end. Yeah, that was a very easy build. We kind of had that one put together in the draft portion itself. So here we go. Game number 1. We have both of our colors thanks to this Witch Enchanter. We do have 3 lands. Not the best, but we should be okay. We can also hold off playing the Witch Enchanter as a land just in case we draw plains. We could have led on a mountain, but there's no reason to like let our opponent know that we for sure have another red source. We didn't have a 1-drop anyway, so just playing out the arena or playing the mountain didn't really matter. Smelted Charge Bug on 2. and we're drawing all mountains. So far we have not drawn a spell, and we've just drawn 2 mountains here. Attack for 1. I think we just want to... Yep, just keep progressing the board here. Opponent has an Aether Spike for our 3-drop. That's fine. We have a Fanged Flames to deal with whatever they do, but we do need to start drawing spells at some point. We kept 4 lands, if counting the Witch Enchanter, and have drawn just lands so far. So, Solar Transformer cannot be Fanged Flames, so we're just going to boop again. There's another mountain, so literal worst possible. Very exciting. This is not the start to a draft that you're ever looking for, where you play a land-light deck and just flood out immediately, but unfortunately, these are the starts you get sometimes. And keeping calm, keeping your cool, it's just part of the game. Alright. Guide of Souls is obviously a good card. Doesn't really do anything right now, but it is a good card. Alright. If opponent had a second Aether Spike there, I would have been very, very sad. So we can attack with the Charge Bug. If they double block with the tokens, that's fine. We don't care. They're just going to throw the counters on the Chrysalis. If they block with the Chrysalis, we can Fanged Flames post-combat. And yeah, I think that's what we're trying to get to happen. So they block and block. We assign our 1 damage. Yeah, they're going to sacrifice the guy to make sure that they kill the Charge Bug. That's fine. And then we're going to clear this Chrysalis. So we traded a Fanged Flames and a Charge Bug for a Chrysalis and one of the 2 spawn tokens that it made. And we lose the game, basically, on the spot. Consign to memory countering the Fanged Flames, and now they still have their Chrysalis. We threw away our Charge Bug. We're pretty dead. Also, again, we haven't drawn a spell. Well, we drew the Guide of Souls, excuse me. But we've drawn 1 spell over the first 5 turns of the game. So, here we go. We take a hit from the Chrysalis. Here's a Serum Visionary. We need to draw a creature or something so that this Guide of Souls can try and play the game. 2 on top probably is terrible for me. It's hard to imagine that our board of Guide of Souls and Hand of Double Land beats Serum Visionary putting 2 cards on top, but we will do our best. We're gonna probably concede. Yeah. So 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of our 17 mana sources there. Yep. It is that way sometimes. Some people are going to blame the shuffler. It's not the shuffler, it's just variance. It's going to happen. It happens in real life too. Don't you worry your pretty little heads about it. The deck is good. We have faith. Here's a much better start. Guide of Souls into Conduit Goblin, into Metastatic Evangel or Molten Gatekeeper, yeah, or Inventor here. Yeah, this start is going to be A+. This is what we want to be doing. Okay. Goblin. It's got to be Goblin. Goblin, make 3 energy, jump the Guide of Souls, get in for 3. Opponent just says, good game. I can't imagine they're serious here on turn 2, but we do have a Guide of Souls that jumped already. If they were going to be banking on like a fight spell or similar, then we're pretty good. All right, Evolving Witness, Nyxborn Unicorn, Guardian, and Fanatic of Ronus. So 4 non-lands, all creatures, I think. Choices for our opponent for this Malevolent Rumble. Fanatic of Ronus going straight to the graveyard from the Rumble is very cool. Just being able to make that a 4/4 next turn, potentially. Grabbed Evolving Witness or Evolution Witness. Alright. Third land is good. Here's Inspired Inventor. Make 3 energy. Make an energy with Guide of Souls. I don't think I want the counter. I think I just want the 3 energy. So here we go. I am perfectly okay trading this Inspired Inventor for that Unicorn. So here's an energy to give it haste, attack with everything, pay 3 energy, jump the Conduit Goblin so that it can't be blocked by the Unicorn. The Goblin is just going to be able to give everything I play haste thanks to the Guide of Souls. Dog Umbra after attacks is a choice. But yeah, anyway. There's a 4/4. We already have a Thraben Charm in hand here if we just want to clear this, yeah. Clear this 4/4. In for 3. Oh, we can play the Evangel and give it haste. Never mind. We're doing that. Yeah. In for 7 here. The Dog Umbra on the Conduit Goblin doesn't stop its ability from doing what it needs to do. It only stops the attack and block, but we can continue to give things haste. So, very good start, right? Guide of Souls into 2-drop that makes energy means we immediately jump the Guide of Souls. So on turn 2, we have a 3/4 flying creature with more text, obviously. So we'll take the Guide of Souls. Like I said, in the draft itself, Guide of Souls is insane. Highest win rate in games when played. So we have Rush of Inspiration plus Plains is fine. Yeah, we have both of our colors. We have a pile of 2-drops in our hand. This is a fine start. So what? Probably lead on the bug, or I'm sorry, on the opponent left up Island Swamp. Probably lead on the charge bug here. Okay, or just throw this into the Aether Spike. Yeah, we should have led on the charge bug here. Whenever your opponent leaves up like what appears to be interaction early in the game, play your second best card that you can play. Is generally speaking what I would advise. If you play the best card on curve and they have the interaction, then that sucks for you. But if you play the second best card, so in this case the charge bug, then we would still have a Conduit Goblin left. And I think that would be a much better card to have. Wither and Bloom clearing our Guide of Souls before it got to do anything. Good on opponent. That's probably... They kind of need to do that. You saw what happened last game with the Guide of Souls. All right. So... Okay, so unfortunately, we don't have double red, and we've drawn 2 double red cards so far. We're going to play this bug and make some energy and boop our opponent with the Molten Gatekeeper and be kind of sad because this Petrifying Meddler is very large and going to hurt, and there's a second Petrifying Meddler. Okay. Counterspell into kill spell into double large stun your guys. All right. I like Aether Revolt a lot. I'm not sure that that was the best moment to play it, though I suppose playing the Skyclaw also not great that turn. Okay. This is bad. I'm just dead, right? Thraben Charm doesn't really do anything. Skyclaw deals 3 damage. That doesn't matter. Yeah. So if I had the Skyclaw down instead of the Aether Revolt, then I would be able to double Thraben Charm this turn and kill the 6/6 and the 4/5. Yeah, I think I just need to deploy the body, even if that leaves me with nothing to do with the Aether Revolt in the future. Just get the body down so that I have 6 damage coming off these Thraben Charms, so that I can shoot down the Petrifying Meddlers, and now that they played it, the Eldrazi Ravager. I think them not blocking here means I'm just dead. I can play the Skyclaw, but my blocks all suck. Like, we have to chump block 2 different things. We tried to attack to get them to, be silly and block so that we could shoot the thing with the Thraben Charm, but obviously they didn't do that, which is just correct for what it's worth. Yeah, Annihilator 1 is terrible. We have to block. Yeah, we just have to chump. We're super dead. I don't think I have a way of coming back after this, because now the Thraben Charms are bad again too, right? Like, I don't have the board. I needed to play the Skyclaw the turn I played the Aether Revolt to avoid this. And even then, like, I can't say that we're favored, but we're at least, we get to clear 2 of our opponent's cards that way. Yep. Yeah, this does nothing. We play the Metastatic Evangel. It doesn't accomplish anything. We have 2 creatures, which means the charms only do 4 damage each. So, yeah, that one decision, playing the Aether Revolt over the Skyclaw, and we are losing the game explicitly because of that decision. If we play the Skyclaw, then we double Thraben Charm, shoot down 2 of the big threats, and we buy ourselves a lot of time. So that's an oops, bad start for me. So we're 1-2 with this seemingly banger of a Burrows deck. So, but that game was on me. No white source means this is a easy mulligan, in my opinion. I'm not going to hold on to an Aether Revolt and only 1 castable card. That's not a recipe to win the game. Alright. This one has 3 lands. We have the rush, so if we draw a 3rd mountain, then we can at least rush. I'm putting one of these white cards back. Yeah, that... At least if we draw a white source, the Inspired Inventor is, either 2 bodies or a bunch of energy that can trigger the Aether Revolt, whereas the Mandibular Kite is just not that. We do need to find another land, obviously. I think holding on to the rush for as long as possible, so that if we do find if we draw a mountain here, then we're just casting the rush, right? We're just going to cast it, and we're going to draw 2, discard at random, because it digs us deeper. And that's not a mountain, which means we're just going to play this as a land. It is also, unfortunately, a 3-drop, which means we denied ourselves the ability to play it by waiting on the rush, but again, I think it was worth it. No land again. Let's just kill the Soul Ring. Evolution Witness. At least we exiled it, so they can't get it back. They can get back a landscape. That's fine. Okay, we found the white source. So I think while the board is clear, let's just get the Aether Revolt down. And now we have Inventor, Skyclaw, and Chargebug that can all start blasting. So I came into the room, and I started blasting. Okay. Conduit Goblin is actually a very good draw. It lets us double 2-drop in order to shoot down the Gargantua here. We could Skyclaw and just shoot down the Witness before it can grow anything, but I think we want to stop our opponent from drawing cards with this Gargantua. This also puts 2 creatures into play so that we can start potentially attacking our opponent. which is pretty important. Attacking this turn for 2 is not... I don't care about that. That doesn't matter. I'd rather hold on to my energy for while we have the Skyclaw and making sure that we can get haste and or menace onto some larger creatures. So if we draw land... I think regardless if we draw land, we're just playing the Skyclaw next turn. Opponent choosing to rebuy their land with the Evolution Witness and not the Fetid Gargantua. So that means they're building up to something big, but I think we're okay with that. So we can Skyclaw here, shoot down the Witness, attack for 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 8 if we want to. Sorry, up to 9. So if we play the Skyclaw, we make 3 energy. Aether Revolt triggers, shoot the Witness for 3. Go to combat. Conduit Goblin goes to give the Skyclaw +1/+0 haste, making it a 4/2. And then we attack. We can put a +1/+1 counter on it with its own ability and a +1/+0 somewhere with the Charge Bug if we want to. So we have the ability to attack for up to 9. Utter Insignificance, sure. We will choose to give it +1/+0 haste, I think. Yeah. So I think there's a window there where my opponent could let me spend the energy on the Conduit Goblin to give haste and then Utter Insignificance to remove all abilities. Just kind of as an FYI. So, do we just have lethal? Hang on. So, land doesn't matter, but Skyclaw, 3 energy. Oh no, 5 damage because we cracked the landscape. The landscape is huge here. Okay, Skyclaw, make 3, trigger Aether Revolt, shoot for 5. They go to 10, give it haste. Please do. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. +1/+1 counter. +1/+1 counter. And yes to the Charge Bug, and this is 10. So this is 15. Yeah. The landscape was the catalyst for that. Being able to trigger the Revolt so that the Skyclaw dealt 5. Like that Skyclaw came into play, dealt 5, and then attacked for 5. The Skyclaw was worth 10 damage that turn. So, good job, Skyclaw. That might be the best I've ever seen it, and it only took a little bit of help from a busted rare. Easy peasy. We have no red source here. Good mulligan. We now have 3 lands with Rush, Witch Enchanter, and Plains. Probably keep this bottom 1 of the Inventors. Yep. And now lead on the Rush because it comes into play tapped. We want to make sure that we have that one, but then we can hold on to the Witch Enchanter until we need to play it as a land. Otherwise, we can just play out these other cards and potentially cast the Witch Enchanter. Conduit Goblin, make some energy. Opponent didn't have an Aether Spike this time. Yippee. Alright. I was going to say if they leave up 3 mana, we try to play around Hopeender, Coatl. But they didn't. They just played a Kami. So we can landscape and just Fanged Flames here. Yeah. We could also just kind of save the landscape, but I think we just want to crack it to have our second red source. We have plenty of double red cards in our deck. I'm playing Nesting Grounds. I think we should just play the landscape, but fair enough. Okay. Tameo meets the story circle. Yeah, this is... I think... So, like, our options here are play Phyrexian Ironworks and attack just to generate an energy. We get no damage in, but, you know, it still generates an energy. Or what we did there, Witch Enchanter, and just get rid of that Saga. The Saga isn't especially powerful, but we don't really want to give our opponent a bunch of card advantage either. So, opponent left all their mana up, so we're just choosing not to do anything pre-combat. We don't want to, like, play our Ironworks, get it countered, etc. I think we could just play Molten Gatekeeper here. Yeah, Molten Gatekeeper here. This way, next turn, we can play Inspired Inventor, make a dude, trigger Gatekeeper twice. Attack for 6 while we're at it. 6 or more, realistically. And then, okay, Team Inferior. I don't really want this on top. I don't really want it on bottom. I think we just let it go wherever and then shuffle with the landscape. Yeah, I'm not... Honestly, I would like to get to 6 mana so I can double 3-drop since our hand is all 3-drops here. But I don't want the Gatekeeper just, like, disappeared either. I'd rather have it somewhere in my deck where I can find it again. Yeah, this is kind of whatever. This is not any kind of a huge decision, but... so I think that I should be trying to get this Phyrexian Ironworks down this turn. And obviously I'm choosing not to, but I think that that's what I should have done. Instead, we're going to post-combat Inspired Inventor, make a 1/1, which is, it's also fine. The reason I think I should have just done the Ironworks is that leaves me with basically 4 bodies left in my hand. And, like, if my opponent has Toxic Deluge here, all they have to do is Toxic Deluge for 2 to sweep up everything I have in play. That is a rare, like, to be fair. Like, we're worried about playing around a rare, which we don't always have to do. Alright, 2, 4, 6, 7. We can play either of our creatures and just ask our opponent if they have something or they die. Like, either of our creatures are lethal with the Conduit Goblin in play. Yeah, this plays around Hope and Coatl at least. Like, don't get me wrong, any of our plays do, but just pointing out. This is lethal. Are you going to do anything about it? I do not need to put a counter here. I'd rather save my energy. Yep. Okay. Bounce my thing. Go to 3. I still have the Skyclaw. Opponent says GG. Okay. Grim Servant, trigger. They lose 3 life. They can't actually stop this trigger, right? It's not a May, I don't think. So, like, that Grim Servant is just a liability when you get to 3 life. That's a little weird, but... Okay, we go to 2 and 2. 3 and 2. Alright. Yeah, this deck should be, like, a contender to get a trophy. Bad draw game 1 and bad play in game 3 that we lost. Game 1, there wasn't much we could do. We drew a lot of lands. Game 3, we played badly, and that's on me. I apologize for playing badly. But we do have 3 wins. 1 more gets us the free draft, basically, and obviously 5 and up is profit, so that's what we want. We want to trophy. We want to get to Mythic, but we'll do that at whatever pace we have to do it at, and hopefully we can tighten up our play a little bit better. No 2-drops is awkward. My deck full of 2-drops. We have Thraben Charm, which doesn't really do anything, and Fang Flames, which there were no targets. But the good news is if our opponent has another Aether Spike Gamer, we're playing a Molten Gatekeeper into it, and that one's not as bad if it gets countered, because, you know, we just get it back. Yeah, Mountain here, Molten Gatekeeper. Would you like to Aether Spike my Molten Gatekeeper? They do not. They have tuned the narrative. Also on Jeskai. I do like the retro basics. They look very good. I'm not sure where those ones are from. All right, land number 4. We do have double red, but opponent is holding up their mana. They haven't done anything besides tune the narrative. I don't particularly want to cast my 4-drops into Hope-Ender Nacatl or Coatl. I think, yeah, cast the Skyclaw if they have the Coatl again. Like I said a minute ago, play your second best card. Like, if I'd rather the Skyclaw gets countered than the Aether Revolt. I don't care at all about that card, that Electrozoa. They have a 3-1. They played a land. They attack for 3, sure. Playing the Electrozoa with no intent of blocking seems a little wild to me. Maybe I'm crazy. They already played their land here. So, this is, I guess they're just trying to get 3 mana, and we draw literally the perfects and hit Rouse here. Pay 3 life with Witch Enchanter, sweep up your entire board. Just kill it all. In for 5, 6 if I feel like paying for it. Yeah, let's pay for it. 6. Your turn. Opponent, just off it. That's fair. Yeah, playing the Glimpse after playing the land for turn, it means that they're actively trying to build up the mana, or they made a mistake. And either way, getting max punished because we ripped the Rouse off the top and already had the 5th land in the Witch Enchanter rolled up in hand, being able to sweep up their entire board there is probably backbreaking. I have to assume so, considering they conceded. Another hand with no 2-drops, but this hand is quite good. Again, we have the Aether Revolt, multiple ways to make energy, Fanged Flames to make sure that we don't just die, and we are on the draw. So, and both of our colors, notably. Okay, there's the 4th land, but no double red source, so we're still looking for a second red here. Opponent on Gruul, sure. Idol of the False Gods. There's the second red source. We got a little lucky there. So we can play out the Inventor if we want to, or we can... We're not under any pressure just yet, so we can just wait until we get the Aether Revolt down and just have more energy. But we have a lot of energy in our deck, and I think just committing something to the board, otherwise it looks quite strange. Like, if we're just doing nothing in our Burrows deck, just... That's a weird line. We could have been patient, but... So here's another glimpse from a player just throwing it out there in order to get 3 dudes. In this case, that idol is going to get big real quick. Attack for 3. They can block. They can not block. I don't really care. Yep. And now we get the Aether Revolt down. We have 2 ways of spouting off energy. No ways of triggering Revolt just yet. Second glimpse. So, where are we at? Okay, they played the land out of the glimpse pile. They're playing the Power Stone and sacrificing 2 of the original glimpse. Trigger idol twice. And then make 1 more token here. And then depending on what their goal is, they can either sacrifice both of them to make 1 with the idol to get 2 more counters. Or they can just kind of hang on to them for a minute and use them for mana later. This does put them up to 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana, which is a little scary. No blocks, so we're gonna Skyclaw, shoot them for 3. This gives us at least an evasive threat to try to help close out this game. The no blocks means we've managed to chip in for 6 with the Inventor, which is nice. I think we just go upstairs here. Like, they're at 8 mana. We can't deny them from being at 8 mana. Or, well, I mean, we can. We can put them down to 7, but I don't think there's much of a difference between 7 and 8 here. All right. Opponent doing nothing is probably good for me. Metastatic Evangel is also good for me because that proliferate counts as gaining energy and triggers Aether Revolt. So here we go. Metastatic Evangel. Play the Inventor. Okay. We want to make 3 energy. I think now we want to shoot down the spawn tokens. I think we just want to deprive our opponent of blockers here. The idol isn't that scary if we are just getting to attack around it, basically. It can be a big dumb idiot, but if we're attacking around it, that doesn't matter. And the Evangel giving us this proliferate, shoot down a second token, very good. So here we go. Attack. I would, in fact, like to spend some energy to make my guy bigger. And now, yeah, still no blocks. So now they're at 4, dead on board to the Thriving Skyclaw. We have double kill spell in hand. Even if that idol becomes an 8/8, we can shoot it down with the Thraben Charm. So they're on... Horrific Assault puts them to 7. That matters. They can make a 3rd idiot. Okay. Kite should just win the game, right? And it looks like I don't see it right away. Yeah, I didn't see it. That's unfortunate. So, killing both of their blockers doesn't accomplish what I need it to because they can make another blocker with the idol. They idol, make a 3rd guy. They block one of the Inspired Inventors. That's still potentially lethal. So we attack, it goes to 5, 6, 7. So yeah, if we Thraben Charm, shoot down this last blocker. To be fair, that also assumes our opponent doesn't have anything in hand, and they do have a bunch of mana up. I just played this turn wrong, start to finish here. This should have been pretty straightforward. Just play the kite, move it over to one of the 2 powered guys, attack, use the energy on the Skyclaw, and make it 5, and that's 7 flying, or 8 flying. Instead, we're doing all this janky stuff that doesn't do what I want it to do, and now our opponent gets to live an extra turn, which is potentially bad for me. So they block, they take 6, go to 1. I don't actually care about the idol getting bigger or getting active or anything. Like, I'm at 20, I have stuff I can sacrifice. I don't care about the idol at all. Yeah, and they're also dead to anything that makes energy because of the Aether Revolt, but we messed up that turn. They should have been dead that turn. Instead, we gave them an untapped step and a turn. Turns out they couldn't stop us from killing them, which is good for us. But that turn was not played perfectly. I think the rest of the game we did fine, but that turn we missed lethal, and then on top of missing lethal, we missed lethal a second way, and then left our opponent at 1 with a turn. So, all right, here we go. That was win number 4, right? So we have our free draft. Yippee! Let's try and get the trophy. All right, so lead on landscape. I think that's fine. We're very likely just landscape, fetch, witch, enchanter, metastatic. Yeah, that's completely fine. This makes sure that we have double red for the Aether Revolt and now the Rouse. We do need another land, but that's okay. Here's metastatic. So we have a 3-1, which is nice. Depending on what our opponent does, it's just a beater, right? 3-1 for 2 is good. Okay, Fanged Flames clears it. Good news for us, we didn't really have a follow-up for it, so it wasn't really doing much right this second anyway. Bad news, we kind of wanted our creature, because it's a good creature. And it helps with the Aether Revolt. Detective's Phoenix, that card is kind of a problem. Alright. So, notably, we do have 2 ways of clearing the Phoenix in our hand. We can, if we kill it with, like, the Rouse, we can exile it with the Thraben Charm. And barring that, we can just Fanged Flames and exile it. I think right here, right now, I want to get down this Aether Revolt while I can. Like, I can take 1 more hit from the Detective's Phoenix, I think. And if I'm Fanged Flaming that thing right now, I'm not being very mana efficient. I'm just using 2 of my mana, and then the Thraben Charm doesn't really have anything to do. Okay, Glaring Fleshraker. So, I have a couple choices here. I can Rouse and just sweep up everything, but then I risk them being able to rebuy their Phoenix. I can do this, where I Fanged Flames, shoot down the Phoenix, play the Inventor, make some energy, shoot down the Fleshraker. I could have also left the Fleshraker because I have the Rouse, and even if they go wide, I can clear it. The downside and the scary part, if I do that, is they already have me at 13 because of the Phoenix. I bolted myself playing the Witch Enchanter as a land, and then they hit me twice with the Phoenix, so I am at 13. And the Fleshraker can deal a lot of damage very quickly. So, I guess I'm glad that I didn't play the Rouse. Or I'm glad that I did play the Inventor and shoot down the Fleshraker, because that color is scary and doesn't die to this Rouse. And if that was their follow-up, then that would have been bad for me. So I think this is a case where we attack. Like, we can take a hit from this big dumb idiot. We're not thrilled about it, but we can take a hit. I think we attack here, because if our opponent blocks, we can Skyclaw to kill it. And yeah, if they no block, then we can still Skyclaw. We just wind up shooting them, but this does get our Thraben Charm 1 step closer to trying to clear the territorial color. Second color is a something. So what are we doing? First trigger mills an idol. Second trigger reveals a snapping Voidcraw. And then we have a Sarpedian Simulacrum. And I think opponent just a little too quickly just hit attack all and accidentally threw, oops there. Accidentally threw away their Simulacrum. So that is an oops, but it is what it is. So, alright, Rouse still doesn't do anything, so there's no point in getting it down. So, Molten Gatekeeper, shoot the untapped one. Boom, kill it. And now, I think we only attack with the Skyclaw, because if our opponent has any kill spell, like, they do only have 1 unknown card in hand, but they also have their draw step. And if they hit, like, Horrific Assault or something, we don't want to just die, because we got too aggressive there to get 2 damage in. They attack, we have Gatekeeper as the easiest block ever. And then Eldrazi Ravager. Big, dumb idiot. Opponent has a lot of big, dumb idiots. They do have Delirium for their Shifting Woodland, but no green sources. So we don't have to worry about that land just suddenly becoming a territorial color, so that's good. Guide of Souls is an interesting draw. It means that we can get a boop with our Aether Revolt, and also jump something with the Guide of Souls. So boop you. Gatekeeper doesn't have any good attacks unless I jump it. But then I'm giving like 2+1/+1 counters and flying to a thing that's not going to stick around. But that does leave me with 2 blockers back to make sure that I'm not just dead to a single removal spell. And I still have my Thriving Skyclaw. That said, so if they don't attack, then I don't have to block with the Guide of Souls. And they have a blocker for the Skyclaw, but then if I draw anything that makes energy, they die to the Aether Revolt. And if they don't... So... Alright, so I think the best play here is attack with the Skyclaw and the Gatekeeper and jump the Gatekeeper. Like, attacking with the Skyclaw is for sure correct. Attacking with the Gatekeeper we're doing because it has Unearth and it only has this turn to do anything. Yeah, so if we jump the Inspired Inventor... Okay, so if we attack with everything, if we attack with the Inspired Inventor as well, we jump the Inspired Inventor instead of the Gatekeeper. Opponent takes the same amount of damage. They go to 2 either way. But that leaves us with 2 flying creatures. So, like, this leaves us dead to a single removal spell. Where we wouldn't be... dead to a single removal spell if we just attack with the Gatekeeper. Opponent winds up with the same damage. They're at 2 either way. So there's no difference here. So 1 removal spell kills us. Anything short of a removal spell, and we have 2 flying, like 2 lethal flying threats. Forest is not a removal spell. Trickster Elk is not the right kind of removal spell. I will sacrifice this Witch Enchanter or Nesting Grounds or something. Yeah, sure. And I will chump block the lethal creature. I will... Yep, I'm at 1. And there's a Skoa. Okay, so I was dead either way. So... Alright, so if I had played this the other way, if we jump the Molten Gatekeeper and put them to 2 that way, we have 2 blockers back. If they attack with both, do we just double chump? We still have the Skyclaw? If we... I don't know. That's really close. Like, Skoa was not on my mind. I'll say that much. Like, I wasn't thinking about the card Skoa. So, if we get in the 8 damage, but leave back 2 blockers, and our opponent attacks with both, do I chump block with the Inventor and the Guide of Souls? And then lose to... If I don't, I lose to the Skoa anyway. If I do, we know that they have the Trickster Elk because they showed it to us, which means they can just put it on the Skyclaw, and then I no longer have a flyer. But... And then they can play... Did they have a blue source? Could they play the Void Craw? If they have a blue source, and I truly can't remember if they did, but let's assume that they did for the sake of argument, then they can potentially... Yeah, they did have a blue source. They had an island, I think. They can play the Trickster onto the Skyclaw, which makes it lose flying, and then play the Void Craw. They have a chump blocker. I have just the Skyclaw because the Molten Gatekeeper exiled itself from Unearth. Double chump would mean that I'd no longer have the Inventor or the Guide of Souls. So they have elk plus blocker if I double chump, if I leave back 2 creatures. And they have Skoa to kill me off if I leave back 1 creature. Yeah, I think I'm in trouble. I guess obviously the play that gives me a turn is the better play because it lets me potentially draw something that makes energy. Who knows what I draw that turn? But if it makes 2 energy, the Aether Revolt just kills my opponent. So I suppose the correct play there was to be a little bit more conservative and leave back the Inventor and the Guide of Souls as double chump blockers. And then we beat a single removal spell. We beat some damage that goes face, like the Skoa or a Ghostfire Slice. And then we have to top deck if they deal with the Thriving Skyclaw, which they could because of the Trickster Elk that we knew about. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I think we could have won that game. I think that attacking with the Inventor might have been just a hair too aggressive, but all in all, I think it's close. It's a very close judgment call there. And I wanted to have 2 flying threats since they didn't show me a removal spell the previous turn. So, yeah. All right. It is what it is. We got 5 wins in our first draft of July. That's not a terrible start. Hopefully, some trophies to come in the near future. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful day.